feels back to come back to the studio. Feels good to come back to the studio after being away for a while. I got this drawing from Alexander when I got home. He made it on the preschool. It's 2 jellyfishes. Such an amazing feeling. Gonna have it here in the office. No joke. That was the first try. Ew. It is Saturday today, and man analysis is home. I just wanted to head out to the studio and do a little bit of building. We have the installation almost done in one of the walls. I'm gonna see if I can put up the last studs in this wall, and then we're gonna make sure that we move this stud and this stud so that they line up just like the one that we have here, so that we have an edge where we can apply the boards. I got a very good feeling about today. Got half of this wall done and made sure I put in the beams. This is going to be a door so that we can access the cold storage. Strengthened up a little bit up here, insulation here, and it is definitely moving on in good pace. I like it. I think we are going to be keeping the time frame. I want to talk a little bit about the want versus need when it comes to camera gear and technology, because this is a trap that I fell into in the beginning of my career as a filmmaker and videographer, and you know what time it is. So when I first started out as a filmmaker and videographer, I was looking at a lot of YouTube videos. There was a lot of creators that inspired me to create my own videos, but what I always felt was that I was limited with the gear that I had, instead of trying to actually maximize the gear that I had, if that makes sense. For example, when a new product was released, before I was working with this full time, I usually had a feeling of, I want this right now. I didn't actually need it as much as I wanted it. In fact, I didn't make any money at all in the beginning stages of my career. So I only wanted it because I didn't actually need it to be able to create better content. So I ended up right here when something new was released. When you are moving further and further down your path as a content creator, you also kind of realize that you don't need everything, but on some occasions there is a product that comes along that you actually both want and need, which means that you end up right here. And in my case, that was the Sony a7S III, for example, because it has generated so much more money than I paid for the camera. So it's a perfect combination of both want and need in order for me to operate my business and make a profit from the product that I bought. And when you're watching me right now, maybe you're thinking like, I want to have this, what Peter has, the big studio, and I want to have the camera that Peter has, the top-down shot, or whatever it might be that you see. If you're not making money off your YouTube channel or off your content that you're actually creating, then there's a very hard reason to find a need for the tech that you want. But if you do make money, and if you do see it as a potential investment that will help you to grow your business, then that is probably a justifiable reason to buy something that you both want and need. Looking back a little bit in my career, there's definitely been times where I bought stuff that was too expensive that I didn't actually need. And when you think about buying a new product, you always gotta make sure that the money versus need is on the same level, because if it's not, then you probably do not need the product that you're buying, because then you're just spending money on something that you actually do not need. So in my case, for example, a computer I recently bought, the M1 MacBook Pro, that is something that I needed in order to operate my business, even though it was an incredibly expensive computer. Let's say, for example, that I want to buy a new lens. On most occasions, I don't actually need the lens, and lenses are pretty damn expensive. So I would say that most lens purchases that I do is gonna end up down here instead of on this end. And to be completely honest, I think that 95% of the times when I bought a new lens, I haven't actually had a really good reason for it, except for that I want to have the lens. But I can still manage to shoot and edit the way that I would love to do with just a couple of lenses. And the majority of the lenses that I only use when I'm here at the studio is the 20mm, the 16-35 that we have right here, and then the 100-400. That is it. All the other lenses that I have has been a progression up to this point of my career. So right now, I'm just at the point where I always try to think of, does my want equate my need whenever I want to buy things for my business? Because otherwise, it's just a waste of money. Hope that made sense. Anyway, take care. Have a good one. Peter from Sweden saying goodbye. Hello. How are you? Hi. Tjingeling. This is the first drawing that I've ever gotten from Alexander, and I'm gonna save it forever.